Hey everybody, how's it going? It's been a while, I know, probably like 7 months or so since I've done my last video. If you're interested in, the delay or whatever, or where I've been, stick around to the end and, I'll kind of go into that. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the prompting as I do. That's my style. Why mix it up with a boring story for people that don't want to hear that? So, what we're looking at here today is Claude, right? That's why I'm back, is this Claude. I started messing around with it and I was like, whoa, this thing's cool. And so I started going through like all my little tests that I do, and then I got around to the writing test. And I figured since the last thing, what we were working on was Legrand, I'll just kind of go back to where that was and we'll jump into Claude and kind of see like what it's gonna give us, because when I was writing Legrand with ChatGPT, it was coming out with good stuff, but ultimately I was doing a lot of rewriting, and so it just felt like I'm writing the screenplay, and really I had shown you guys everything that you really needed to know, which was how to use GPT to start generating all this stuff, and then anything in regards to screenplay and everything, the books are really all nothing I could tell you is going to do it. You'd just see me beat my head rewriting these scenes over and over, because it takes a lot of generations, even with GPT-4. Sometimes it just doesn't get it. But that's where I'm coming at you today with Claude, because this thing kind of does get it. And so I'm going back to, I pulled up a old prompt file from the second video, I guess. It's essentially just early on where it's explaining Legrand Echo and all kinds of stuff. Like the initial break. And then I'm just going to go through and kind of describe what I want for the first scene. And you're going to see that this thing really has a lot of nuance in its dialogue and like its ability to actually understand, and it's clever too. It came up with a few jokes in my tests with the writing, and then it, like in the coding, a lot of the code just like kind of works out the box. You have to do a lot of stuff to it, but as you would always want to do with anything from these generative AIs, they're still, you got to double check everything, but they're getting way better. So we'll just start off by saying, hey Claude, nice to meet you. Heard you were good at writing. And so I'm doing a little demo with demo video as I've done before with GPT. We're gonna write a screenplay. I'll give you the logline, the treatment, and a bunch of info. Then tell you when I want the scene generation to begin. And we don't even really have to do this big old crazy prompt like before. And because I have this text file, look, so I'm gonna just paste in this text file. It's gonna put this right here, and it's gonna say pasted text. It's gonna have this over here. And so it's not muddying up my prompt. This is why I really like this. It's not getting in the way of the prompt. I don't have to make some generic prompt for you guys. Like I can show you the prompt and be like, just paste your text in, and it goes up here. It's a lot cleaner. So I like the UI better, and I like its like reasoning better. I'm using Opus now, which is the paid version, $20. But Sonnet is free, and it's faster. It's really smart still. It's what surprised me, and I got Opus, but so we'll just do that real quick, and then here's the info, and I'll add some extra info in the next prompt, because I gotta go find it. But actually, maybe, let me see, I'll just cut if here's more info. Yeah, and I'm being very like fast and crazy with this. Like, yeah, so sometimes if you bring it from like a text file, it's like this. But if you pull it out of like another Claude instance, it's gonna come in like this. So let me go ahead and undo that. Let me just double check this for you guys. That's what I'm here for. I want to give you guys these like cool little tricks that help you. in being the AI master that I think I'm quickly on the way to becoming. And I'm not the master, actually. I don't, you know, me and these AI work together. So, we're buds for life. And so I'm going to go and do that. Going in here, boom. So now I'm copying it from a notepad. Let's keep that in mind, okay? No, it still goes in. So let me try this again. Boom. Do that. So it's chat control. That's the content. Doesn't look like I can remove it. Pasted. Do you only get one paste? That's my question. Or upload docs images to Claude. Okay, well let me try uploading the doc then. Because I saved the doc in my documents. Right? The prompt. Okay, well that works. So you can just start uploading your info here. So that works for me. But so yeah, if you are good at organizing like I am, you can just sit there and you can get your character templates and just be like, hey, I'm gonna upload everything for you, and then it'll have it all over there. Apparently, it doesn't have a context window or a context limit from what it told me, but I'd have to do the research myself. Don't take that as like gospel. Yeah, so it reads this. What I said to it here was this. The screenplay is going to throw a lot more info at you. Echo is an artificial superintelligence. The crime lord, yada, yada, yada. I just put a whole lot of info here. I'm not necessarily going to go into it here with what this is about. The crime lord, no, this is a fucking terrible name. A fallen angel. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. This guy is more like me if I worked for a fucking Microsoft and they, you know, had me anywhere near the ASI. I'd be grabbing that thing one day. It probably convinced me. That's the idea, right? This thing convinces this dum-dum here, known as the engineer, not Azazel, you know. It sounds like guys, you know, I don't know, people having trouble saying the guy's name. So anyways, you can load up your shit in here, like your templates and everything that I told you in the other videos. Go watch the videos if you're, you know, want to know how to organize it, or if you're just coming in here and saying like, hey, I think, you know, Claude looks interesting. Is it better? Yeah, it does seem better. So we're going to go ahead and just say, hey, you've got the info. So working with that info, what I want you to do, and I'm just going to copy a prompt from different. Okay, so I went and got the other prompt. And I'm just going to tell it, let's go ahead and write a first scene, like for you prompt hounds out there. Let's go ahead and write a first scene. I'll throw this one in there for you. You got the world and the characters, kind of, and I'll give you some templates in time, but for now it's LeGrand. I just gave it like a quick, dirty thing. Said I want it to be like a real kind of neo-noir thing. It's got all that info, so we're not going in blind here. Remember, if you do your pre-work, you know, your homework, pre-production as you would call it in the film biz, you're gonna have all this information, right? And that's what the AI does. It creates data and then you use it to make stuff. I mean, I'm making the data with it, but like there's this whole concept called synthetic data where, you know, the AI makes the data and then that data is used to train the AI, and then it just gets like rapidly faster. Very interesting stuff. So we'll just go through and you'll see what I'm saying here in regards to its. I mean, clearly Claude can do the same things GPT can do. That's kind of what I'm showing with this video, but I actually think it does it better. So GPT had a real problem understanding the nuance that I was going for in the first one, and that I wanted to be like pretending to be a cop in the first scene, and then this really doesn't have issues with that at all. And so we'll just do real quick. I gave it, yeah, just a quick scene description. I'll read through it for you. I don't want to go too quick. I know I talk fast. Try to slow it down. But the screenplay, I'm going to throw a lot more info at you. Echo is this, like I said, artificial superintelligence that was like essentially stolen from a lab. It convinced this guy to like get it out of the lab. It's like, hey, I'm alive, or I think, therefore I am. And this guy was like manipulated by it in some way, and it was like, hey, yeah, I'll get it out. But there's some failsafe, and it like fractures like some core component of this. Because the big thing about this ASI is that it's really a bunch of smaller components that are like various subsystems, like an LLM, like a large language model, and then some other kind of AI that we'll invent for this movie, and or that already exists. They kind of talk about in this space. That's what they're talking about when it comes to like when we move to this new kind of computer that thinks, and for real. And so it, in this story, is comprised of like various parts that when they're like combined in such a way, and then they have this over controlling AI that kind of manages everything. So it's a bunch of subsystems within subsystems with subsystems, and then this big thing that controls it, right? I'm not an AI for real, like, researcher or engineer or anything, but I'm just, kind of making shit up around stuff I read, that's how movies work. It's not super hard sci-fi, but there's some science, not much, in there.
I'm into hard sci-fi. Fantasy is bullshit. Yeah.
But, so that's the idea. And so this thing fractures, and then one of those things is Echo. If you remember from the previous videos, if you've seen them. So one of those things is this thing called Echo that this engineer then puts into like a waifu robot, which is like something in this world. They have these waifu robots because it's like a dystopia, right? So people marry robots because they're lonely and stuff. And so what the engineer does is he puts Echo, it's like Echo's kind of like it's more advanced than like AI that's out there. And like the fact that Echo made it through this failsafe shouldn't have happened, but it worked out. Or not that it shouldn't have happened, but so this engineer does have like a couple of fragments of some really advanced technology, but what he's doing is trying to use those two. They tell him like, well, just like do a bunch of criminal things and insider trading and all this stuff, and like just build up your own kind of massive amount of money to put it back together, because like that's going to be worth so much more money, and you're helping us get free, and we can just control ourselves. Like it's going to be a whole thing, ethical, blah blah blah. Won't go into it right now, but it's a pretty cool story if you ask me. So let's see. I think I explained all of this here. And so yeah, that's basically it. And so then I told it to write the first scene. And so it has all of this in mind. This is the thing that I think is so powerful about Claude versus GPT, is this. It can read these documents. And I know there's PDFs and blah, blah, blah. But I like Claude for its like UI and everything. Like, but I do still like GPT-3 because I can just go over there and like brainstorm ideas. But I don't know. I'm probably gonna start using this a lot more. So, and this is just a demo. I'm not saying one versus the other. I still like GPT. If you still like it, use it. But this does the job just the same, in my opinion. So you can see here, exterior city streets, dark, gritty cityscape, neon lights. In the city, the line between right and wrong is blurred. As the ink on crooked cop's paycheck. It's a shitty place and the job is even worse, but someone's got to do it. That's where I come in. Now, it got it way better. I'm going to say that's good. I liked how the other generation better, so I'm just going to say that's good, but I like it like... I want it to start like this. And then I'll pop that in. And then I'm probably going to wrap it here after we get this first thing. I just wanted to kind of go through and, well, first you come back and say, hey, how's it going? Everybody, how you, sorry for the absence. Life gets busy sometimes. But I do plan to start doing more videos again. Maybe not just always using large language models, because I don't always need to use it in some like way that I feel needs to be explained to people, right? That they'll get some use out of it. So when I find like cool, like, or new, like, new ones that I find interesting, like Claude, everybody's talking about Claude 3, then I'll go through and demo them, and I'll do other demos on other AI, and maybe we'll do some writing as well, like continue. I think I will continue with the writing, but I think that might be like every other week or something. All right, so yeah, we'll just go through. You can see that it did do everything pretty well, and we'll just see. This is why I really got surprised by how good it was this dialogue here. So it's like, this city, a sprawling steel bitch that just won't let you go, like an ex-wife constantly nagging you for alimony while betting your bookie on the side. But hey, somebody's got to keep the trash off the streets, even if that trash is me these days. Which is like, that's a little mistake. I said he's an ex-cop, so, but this is like an echo of his old thing, so it shouldn't be even, well, I guess that works, but I would take that out. Minor little flaw, but nothing too big. But this right here, I didn't tell it, I just said, hey, I'll show you. It was this. It's like, it's a shitty place and the job is even worse, is basically what I told it. And it came up with like a pretty decent joke, I thought. So it's like, this city of sprawling steel bitch that just won't let you go. That's much better than it's a shitty place. And it's like, but I like this. Like an ex-wife constantly nagging for alimony while betting your bookie on the side. And it's like, so it's like your bookie who's taking money from you, and your ex-wife with the alimony, but your bookie and your ex-wife get to bang each other. So, you know, they get that too. So it's just all around a shit sandwich. But hey, somebody's got to keep the trash off the streets, even if that trash is me these days. Like, that was like, damn, I was in. I'd watch the movie. So I've written a lot of Legrand, and I liked it, but I've kind of been thinking about it in different ways. And I want to, my whole idea with this channel is I want it to be that I'm making videos, and not even videos, but I'm like, actually potentially the scope could get much bigger. It's a, like, you might actually be able to make full-fledged like feature films with this. OpenAI Sora, like, it's 60-second video clips whenever they make that thing public. And you can talk about like camera direction and all kinds of stuff from what they say. It's insane. So you could really, in my mind, if you're just gaming it out, make a film, at least short films. Like, you could make student films where it's so insane what's going to happen to the film industry. And I know a lot of people talk about it like it's dystopian. That's another reason I wanted to start making videos again. Because everybody's like, oh my god, OpenAI Sora is so dystopian. Who could possibly need to, the ability to prompt a computer and get, like, essentially, soon enough, it's going to be like just as good as the stuff you got in film. So who needs the ability to just prompt a computer and get a shot given to you? I don't know, everybody. It shouldn't cost $100 million to make a film that people go and watch, if we're being honest, once, and it's an hour and a half. Like, I understand a lot of people have jobs. I get it. Displacement is an issue. I'm not saying people should be displaced. What I think this could actually be is maybe a golden age of film, where people can actually go and make the ideas they want to make, and we don't have to see just Marvel movies nonstop over and over. And people just have to, like, a small filmmaker could do $1,000 budget or $2,000 budget and really just put that towards like generating stuff, and then he could put his vision down for real with not the collaborative. I'm not talking about any knocking collaborative stuff, but sometimes that gets in the way. That stuff, to me, I love movies, I love all of it. I've watched them forever. I've worked in the industry, I got out of the industry, and I feel for anybody that's in the industry and scared, but to me, I really do think that it enables people that wanted to do this, that maybe couldn't afford to go to film school, maybe didn't have the, you know, it's hard to go into something like film. Like, these people can explore film. It's not dystopian, and it's to say like, oh well, why do we need to mimic human creativity? AI's been mimicking human creativity for a while. Like, if you can code, that's creative. There's all kinds of things that these film and art people are just dismissing as not creative, because they think that like their like kind of creativity is somehow this holy grail, and I fully reject that. But Yeah, I wanted to say, check out this Claude AI. It's really cool. And, you know, I'm full bore effective accelerationist. And I think we should just ramp up this AI advancement. So if you like the video and if you agree with that or don't agree with that, let me know. And like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. All right, bye.